Can you say the words SplineTools 5 times fast? SplineTools, 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 SplineTools. In BeamNG 0.37, we are introduced to this new mesh spline tool and a few other tools, really. It does seem better than the road architect in a lot of ways for making barriers and such. Right here, what is the tool? There's some links here. What I wanted to show was the spacing troubleshooting guide they also have on their documentation. Vertical offset, the spacing of, like, let's say you wanted to do some guardrails, getting the spacing flush meeting only works with certain props. So they have some presets here. I'm gonna run through these icons here in a sec, but just wanted to put that up there. So I got some pretty neat stuff coming out, and they do have pretty cool guides for pretty much most of it. And then the start and end caps, I can't seem to figure the end caps. They don't want to meet right here, so I guess I'll figure that out some other day, but with too many meshes, the tool becomes slow. Spline disappears, session management. Yep, so let me just see if I can make one. So I kind of made a few. I made one right here with one of these spline tools, and this one, and then this third one I made with the road architect. And when I actually went to save it, you can tell in my road, it creates this road architect road 1. My guardrails are not visible. I don't know where they are, so I'm just going to delete those, and then it continues to create this these decals that I don't need. So we get rid of those. We get rid of road architect road 1. I'm actually going to delete these so I can make a couple fresh ones. So mesh spline 1 is a folder that I guess it creates, which is cool. That's just a collection. So I just delete these, and I'll go through these icons at the top. So let me just select these. So these are actually creating like I guess a DAE file now, like an instance. So works very similar to the road architect in that way. Alright, just had to clean up that scene tree. So scooch that out of the way right now. So these icons at the top, everything to the right of the object select has been recently added. So this is kind of some of the stuff's in addition to the decal road editor. So all that stuff, like the stuff that was there, still exists. And they just kind of added to this. So the road spline is kind of like a decal editor thing, from what I understand. A lot of this works similar to the road architect. Add a new layer. So if I did click, click, whoop, don't know if it's supposed to do that. I haven't really messed with that one, but what if I just went boom, boom? Okay, so there's my 2 nodes, and you can choose over objects, but doesn't really seem like it's giving me, what is it giving me? So there is you can do where, that's weird, so you can basically, I don't know, that's just, I'm not going to that, I'm just going to the mesh. I just wanted to show the road spline, and then that exists. And the next one is decal spline. Get rid of this. And oddly enough, you can, if you're in one of these, it looks like you can still click. You don't have to click the node or the icon to get back into that mode. So if I delete those 2 and just hit trash, it'll delete that road spline. So if I go to decal spline, add a new decal spline, click, click. So there's some decals. And then you can, like, asphalt patches, like, there's some things, you can mess with. Stop, keep, I don't know. Some of this stuff you really gotta look at the documentation to fiddle with. I am just looking at the mesh side for right now. But Spacing. Yeah, fiddle around with that. But let me delete and go to the next one. Not trying to make this too long. Assembly spline. I don't know. Yeah, so fences. There's some presets. Let me just talk about the preset here so you can see how sometimes it'll get janky. But let me get that kind of working. So there's some presets right here. So that's a wooden fence. You can do telegraph poles. They only have a few for now. So if I telegraph poles, spacing. So there's some, oh wow, look at that. So I can get some pretty neat effects with the power wires. That's freaking sweet. So I'm probably going to use that on this map. That's sick. So that's just the one piece of that. So if I, add a new assembly spline, I can make that something different. Basically, I don't ever touch this stuff. I think this is hard coded down here. Round robin, I don't really know if Control Z, no, I don't know. Round robin seems to be what I'm using there, and I don't mess with that. I don't know what these do, but the options above that, random, like all this spline properties, you can change spacing, like see how the posts are kind of getting bigger. So if I did one more node, click, I can do, molecule spacing. It makes huge fences or whatever, separation. Vertical offset, obviously. And there's no way to slow that down. You just kind of gotta be careful with that. So the meshes, presets, I don't think there's a way, obviously you can change the rotation if you wanted, I guess, or maybe not 90 degrees, but I don't see a way to change the asset. Can I change assembly kit folder? Oh, there's only 3 in there. So you can see those 3 that are presets are in the assets folder that they added. But I guess they're going to continue building on this, which is super neat. I'm excited to see what more power poles they have. It took me forever to you have to manually line them up. But that is cool. How do I get rid of this? Cancel. Oh, oh, don't crash. Cancel. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Let me delete that. So that's cool. That's kind of that. All right, I'm going to delete this for now. Close it. Let me go to this. I don't know what this master spline is. I don't know what that master spline does. I was messing with it, but couldn't figure it out. So we're going to go to the mesh spline. That's what I'm going to use to make these little guardrails. So add a new mesh spline. I'm just going to go click, click, click. Oh, gets kind of janky. Delete that node. Try to maybe go like that. I don't know why it's snapping weird, but let's see. The idea, I can't really figure out the end caps, but so you have your spacing, right? It's at 0.2 minimum. If you uncheck that, it goes to 0, and then for some reason it gives you a space. So I don't know why it does that, but then you can just slide it and get back to the 0.2. Vertical offset, obviously, move it up and down if you want. Pitch jitter, yaw jitter, raw. I don't know what those jitters do. I think they kind of create some variance. Like if you want some variance in there, see? But you can kind of do whatever. But it's all procedural. And there's no render button like there is with the Road Architect. You can just, you have to, I think, close this window and save and restart the game, and then they'll be persistent, as opposed to being like this node curve thing. So if I want to change the mesh, the main I can change pretty easily, and this is cool because now they have a search box, which they don't have in the Road Architect still. So guard, rail. These two do not space correctly, so I'm going to use the Italy guardrail basic, I think. And you can see if I do set that to 0, they also are funny spaced, just like that troubleshooting guide. So the end caps, can't figure out. So if I uncheck the end cap or the start, see how it puts a regular object. But if I wanted an end cap, I can't really figure out how to get the end cap on there. Like no matter what I do, they all have this extra distance between. Sky bridge, see the end cap. Just kind of wants to sit out there, and even if I made it 180 degrees, it's still kind of got a gap. Nothing I do seems to help that. Oops. It's even the spacing. So I don't know. Whatever. At least it gives me a way to make railings. I could just manually place the end caps. That's fine. Or I can just kind of scooch them in after, and I'll just leave them there for now. You know, so if I just went like this and just picked the end cap I really wanted, you know, that looks good. You know, 180, but we'll leave that, and then I'm gonna look at these presets, but I want to do a different road. So that's that. Oh, I'm just gonna leave that. So if I do a add new mesh spline, and I can click and click and click, and it'll create new nodes on that curve. And you don't want to, it's like the road architect where it'll snap. See that red line means if I let go of click, it's going to snap. I don't want it to snap, so I'm going to get it over here. If I did accidentally snap it, you can always control Z, but so if I went to these presets, I just wanted to show what these are. Concrete barrier, plastic barrier, that thing, some metal posts, spacing. So Victorian lamps. See the spacing is 25. You always got to squeeze it in on the preset after you set it. The bollards and stuff, and then the oil drums. I guess they're going to add more, so eventually. Distribution. This one's at random. I don't know. I guess you can change the distribution on it. Anyway, I just wanted to restart the game, and alright, I'm back in after restarting. So you can see the mesh spline 1 is nice and tidy in my scene tree. The objects are just these DAE files, so they're nice and easy to work with. I can do whatever. Nice and easy. So this mesh spline, the way it works, seems to be a lot better than the road architect. I'm hoping they remove the road architect entirely and just continue to develop this. Mainly because now you can still see the buggy nature of the road architect. It's still not working, so I'm just going to delete everything that's in there. And then for the mesh, what you want to do is move it out of these folders. So all of these guys, we just create a brand new folder. And every mesh road you can just pop in there. So I'm just going to say barriers. If I move those in to there, now when I create a new mesh spline 1, it won't stomp on anything potentially. So now I can, let me just move this out of there, delete mesh spline 1, and then do the same for 2. Move them in, barriers, 3, move them in, barriers. I can delete that and that. So now when I create a new mesh spline road, it will create those new groups automatically. Drive path editor, I haven't messed with that. I don't know if that's just for AI. I assume it is. I'm not going to mess with it right now. I just wanted to go over how to make some cool barriers. And then I forgot to mention you can should be able to copy your settings. So if you have a bunch of settings on your first spline, you control C, go to your new spline. I'm just going to make it real quick. Boom, boom. See it's fence, control V. Should get your little, so just click more, click more. Now all of my settings were pasted, so that's pretty neat. Really excited to see what other stuff they're going to put in here, but so far this is looking pretty cool.